Our reporter Avu Mtila is also on the ground in Johannesburg. He's in Midrand at the moment, but he will be talking to Police Commissioner Elias Mawela, of course asking him and probing about the Diepsloot situation that's happening right now. Residents are demanding visible policing, and of course we've seen the protest happening in Diepsloot. The situation is dire, so we would really like to hear from the Police Commissioner at this moment. Aviwe.
Thank you. We're in Midrand at this current moment where 13 drone pilots have actually received their certificates to operate the drones. We understand they've received 6 drones from the MEC of Community Safety, and we hear, in fact, while you mentioned the issues in Diepsloot, that they are to help somehow in curbing the crime levels that, of course, are escalating right around Gauteng. These are on top of, in fact, the 6,000 crime prevention wardens that are already on the ground. We heard from the MEC, in fact, there are already 2 surveillances in that very Diepsloot. She even questioned what are those surveillances for, given what we're seeing currently in Diepsloot. Not the first time. Around this time last year, we heard similar occurrences of heightened crime levels in Diepsloot. And when we were there were reinforcements on the ground, yet we're facing similar situations. What are the solutions? Let's find out from General Elias Mawela, the Provincial Commissioner of Gauteng. General, thank you for joining us at ENCA. We speak of 13 drone pilots that have been given their licenses here today. We hear from the MEC there are already 2 surveillances on the ground. How exactly are these interventions going to help what we're seeing play out, not only in Diepsloot, but in other parts of Gauteng?
Yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity. You know, policing without the support of this technology, it is difficult, especially in places like your Diepsloot. And it is not only Diepsloot. In Gauteng, we have close to 700 informal settlements where there is no basic services, and the environmental design of those areas are so bad that it is not even accessible to emergency services, to the police, and other services for those communities. So we believe that with this, it will extend our surveillance in the whole community to can see what is happening. And when we deploy, we'll deploy in a targeted way. At least we'll see where the problem is and we deploy accordingly. Because moving randomly in that area which is congested, which is not accessible, is difficult. At times the police, they pass, something happened just behind them. So we believe that with this intervention is going to assist us.
We've been promised 6,000 crime prevention wardens in every ward, Commissioner. Where are they in areas like Diepsloot, where we're currently seeing this spate of, criminality that the protests are actually seeing? Where are they in areas like Eldorado Park or in the Maponya Mall, where we're seeing, some sort of vigilantism and the Ubers that are being attacked there? Where are the wardens?
Yeah, the wardens are there. Remember, they're deployed in different wards in our community to be closer to the communities and also enhance visibility so that the community, they can have somebody to can link up with. Over and above that, you have heard the MEC, they've introduced the panic button, but they're still encouraging a lot of people that they must make use of the panic button. They must and load it in their smartphones and so forth, so that in case of emergency, then they can activate the response team. So we do have those. But if I can go back to what is happening in the Diepsloot area there, we have a few sections. It's not the whole of Diepsloot. We have extension 12, we have extension 13. That is in what they used to call it the Adelaide Tambo area. And that is the area whereby the government have relocated people from that particular area to Riverside. But there's a lot of people who went there, occupied the space illegally, and so forth. And also undocumented people that came in numbers. That area, it is not accessible. That's why we had a lot of problem. And we have another area called Extension 1. That Extension 1 is this dark. Even when you walk during the night, you have to stretch your hand to can touch somebody close to you. So that's the areas where we are having a problem in Diepsloot, not the entire Diepsloot.
Are there crime prevention wardens in Diepsloot and the areas that you mentioned? Because the promise was that there'd be a crime prevention in every ward right around Gauteng.
Yes, they are, but the numbers are not so big. remember, it is difficult to can cover that particular area street by street. So what do? We extend the coverage of the area by having a very good relationship with the community, ensure that the community, they are working closer with the law enforcement agencies. And believe you me, the stakeholders have met yesterday. Majority of them, they've committed themselves. Look, General, we want to work with you and we'll share information as to what is happening in our particular space. And one of the example of that good working relationship with the communities on the ground, on Saturday, there was a house robbery whereby a 48-year-old mother was hacked. Her son, 16-year-old, was shot at. Through the grace of God, they are still alive and they are being attended to in the hospital. The community assisted us, and with a quick response, 6 people were arrested. They appeared before court, bail was denied, and they'll be appearing again in next week.
And the CPF chair in Deep Sloot lost his life due to robbers, as we understand. The shop owner that was being attacked at the time called the chair. Instead of going to the police or anything of the sort, you've known the issues of Deep Sloot for at least 2 years now. Last year, the exact same thing was happening, and we were told there was a deployment the year before. Why isn't the issues in Deep Sloot not being arrested fast enough? It's been years since these ongoing issues there.
Okay, let me clarify that one. I've seen that so many people, they are running with that story that why this person have called the former CPF chairperson. It's a former, it's not the current CPF chairperson. Now this person is a patrol. He was a patroller in that particular area. And this person, he's not staying far from that shop which was robbed. So he is close to the victim of that shop. When the business robbery was happening there, and this Somali guy was shot on his hand, he went out. The first person he could call upon, it was this patroller who happened to be the former CPF chairperson, who's not staying far from where the robbery was happening. And when he was approaching, he was met with the firearm, not even coming closer to that particular space. But anyway, we encourage, obviously, the citizens of that particular area to can work closer with the patrollers and have a way in which they can share information with those ones. It is just unfortunate that we have lost the life of a committed patroller in that particular space. But we are working together with the community in around that area. I think in the nearest future we'll be able to can sort out that case.
And the promise was that these crime prevention wardens would be armed. Is that the case, General? And do you believe they're effective in these communities given the rampant crime that we're seeing right around Gauteng?
No, currently they're not trained to can carry firearms. You know, they are like our patrollers in areas, because of they are not certified to can carry firearms, so they are not armed right now. But you know, they are a force multiplier. Like the patrollers we are having in different communities, that are force multiplier, and they are the eyes and ears of the police on the ground. And they also assist us in terms of the recovery of dangerous weapons like the knives, pangas, and so forth.
Okay, thank you very much. General Elias Mawela, the Provincial Police Commissioner in Gauteng, of course, as those 13 pilots of drones have just received their drone licenses. There are a promise of 6 drones, in fact, in Gauteng, but the crime levels themselves are escalating. There's been, of course, 6,000 deployment of crime prevention wardens on the ground, but we hear as yet they are not armed. They are to assist in being the eyes and ears. But are they visible? Are they in areas such as Deep Sloot, where we're seeing rampant crime in the current moment, and we're seeing the protests by community members there that are fed up because of the escalating crime levels? At around 12 o'clock, we'll be catching up with the MEC of Community Safety, that's Faith Mazibuko, who's part, of course, of the briefing here.
Thank you so much, Afiwa Mtila. Of course, he spoke now to Gauteng Police Commissioner Elias Mawela. And like Afiwa just also highlighted yet again, where are the crime-fighting wardens? And what is the purpose really? What are they serving the communities? And is it actually helping at the end of the day? We know that the Police Commissioner just said that they aren't armed. They are basically just patrolling the areas where they are living in. But it is definitely definitely a question worthy to ask. And we were also just highlighting those issues in Diepsloot at the moment that's happening now. Crime, of course, taking its toll. Then residents are fed up and they are taking to the streets yet again. And this comes almost a year after Police Minister Becky Cele promised more boots on the ground in Diepsloot. But yet again, we find ourselves at the same situation. We'll be giving you updates as to what exactly is going on in Diepsloot. Our reporter Mangoba Mchunu is on the ground.